4 months ago, I bought myself the Triumph Thruxton RS, and a few days ago, I rode it for the first time, and this is what I think about it. Okay, so when I bought this bike, there were a few things that needed doing to it. It just had been a bit neglected, so I had to do just the obvious stuff: tighten the chain, lubricate it, change the oil. I adjusted the suspension, the clutch cable, and then from there I just started doing loads of bits that I wanted to do to make it look the way I wanted it to look. I'll do a little walk around of the bike in a sec, but they're mainly just bolt-on parts, nothing too crazy, although it did add up. It was quite a bit more money than I planned on spending, but I absolutely love the way the bike looks, but more importantly, I love the way it rides. We'll do a quick walk around now, and then I'll tell you what I think of it, how it's amazing, by the way, but I'll go into detail as to why I think it's amazing. So I have covered this in other videos, but there are some parts I've fitted since that I haven't documented on here because I've been busy. I haven't really done any YouTube videos for a bit, but the bike does need a clean since riding it the other day, but we'll get around to that. So I got these Raish, I think that's how you pronounce it, these heel plates that I put on. I think those are Raish as well. The gear lever there, and then that's the make there. Hang on, let me focus. A lot of people pronounce it a different way. I've seen like Puig and Puig and that anyway. Put the Triumph clutch guide down there, you can see. The plates there, the Union Jack ones in there, and this inlet cover. These mirrors, these are awesome, by the way. So I got the Triumph Final Edition ones originally because I wanted to keep it all Triumph, but I thought it just ruined the aesthetic of the bike a little bit because they stuck up. And then I saw reviews on these, maybe off from the site I got them from. I think I got them from AJ Cycles, saying, you know, they look great, but you are going to compromise on visibility. I have to say, the visibility on these is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. So love those. Then I got these Triumph brake and clutch levers, fully adjustable. Love those. Changed these side repeaters to the Triumph ones instead of the big orange ones. Then Triumph fork sliders there. Put this on as well. It was just a different nut with a hole in it so that I could attach the quad lock. Put the anodized brake reservoir on there. Lowered the clocks, actually. We'll come around the other side to see that. So I lowered the clocks and the headlights. So there's this bracket here, and then you get another one. It's kind of tucked up under there somewhere that brings the headlight and the clocks down, which just means that it just follows the line a little bit more. I think that looks great. I did change this as well, so it opens this way now instead of that way. Just makes it easier when you sat on the bike putting fuel in. The cap isn't in the way, so that's super easy. If you want to do it, you just take this off. There's a small plastic retaining clip. Pop that off, take this off, turn it around, clip back on. Jobs are good. And so yeah, happy with that as well. Put these caps on here as well, these Triumph ones, just to neaten it up a little bit. I put this Motone skid plate on, which I think looks great. Again, levers on this side. I was just going for like a blacked out look, really. That's why I did a lot of this stuff. Blacked out, some Motone on, yep, the oil filler cap. Triumph comfort seat. It's actually pretty comfortable. I was surprised, and I love the way that looks. There's probably a few other bits I've done on it, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. Got those there. It does have the tail tidy. It's got a different exhaust, British Customs, but I didn't do that. It was like that when I got it. Oh, and I wrapped the headlight with yellow film, which, I mean, it's covered in bugs and stuff at the moment, but I think that looks good. I think it just really kind of pushes that sort of retro look that this bike has. So yeah, super happy with the way it looks, but let's get on to the way it rides. So I have had a similar bike to this before. It was a 2020 Triumph Speed Twin, and I wouldn't exactly say it's a night and day difference between the two. Now, that one did have the Thruxton all-in suspension upgrade on it, which definitely makes a difference from what I've heard. I'd never ridden one without, but I know some of the critics, some of the things they said, like that Speed Twin down was the suspension, could have been better, and you know, it didn't inspire confidence quite as much. You could reach the limits of it. I mean, some of the people saying this were amazing riders. Whether I could reach the limits or you, that's another thing. But anyway, um, so point being, not the 9 day difference is when I got on this, I kind of knew what to expect. I knew roughly, how it feels speed wise. It's not because I got the Aprilia there. That's warp speed kind of thing, and I knew this wasn't going to be that. So when I twisted the throttle, I wasn't surprised. I was like, "Yep, this is what I expected." A little bit quicker than the Speed Twin, but again, not 9 day difference. But the thing that really got me on this the other day, we took it to the twisties, and there's some really nice sweeping bends where it's knee down territory. I was taking it easier than I would usually. Not Miss Daisy, but not going balls to the wall. And it was fantastic. So confidence inspiring. I mean, I got it right over. I've worn the tire down almost to the edge there, so that speaks to that. And I felt like I could have done more. I was taking it easier because I'm not used to the bike. I haven't ridden for about 4 months, so I just wanted to take it easy and get home in one piece and get the bike home in one piece. But it was fantastic, and I actually thought I was a little bit quicker in the twisties on this than I am on the Aprilia, and the Aprilia is a lot faster than that bike. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think the more and more I ride this bike, the Triumph, the better I'm going to get on it, the more I'm going to understand the bike and its limits. I mean, it's got a short wheelbase, it's so nimble. I found as well when I was going in some of the tighter bends where I'd usually drop into second on the Aprilia, I kept it in third on this because it's got so much torque that you can kind of be a bit lazy with that. You don't have to have it revving all the way up because in third it's smoother, I would say, in a higher gear. But then when you get back on the throttle, it picks up no problem. I didn't think, oh, I should have gone in lower or I need to drop a gear to get back up. Like, no, it was fantastic comfort wise as well, because I think we did about 5 hours we were out riding, and I was absolutely fine. I mean, to the very, very end of the ride, I'm ready to get off like I would with any bike, but it was fantastic, super comfy. The seat is definitely comfortable. I never rode it on the stock seat, so I don't know comparison between the two, but the position with the bars, like it doesn't have when people put that nose fairing on and then they drop, they don't have to, but some people do drop the clip-ons with the sports ones, I think they're called. I don't know if they're about 1.5 inches lower or something around that territory. So these are the stock ones. They're still clip-ons, but not as severe as that sort of sports bike ride position. Fantastic. I had no complaints there whatsoever. Super comfortable. Like everyone on YouTube somehow has access to a private off-road airstrip or whatever. Yeah, we did that. I got it up to 140 miles an hour, which is as far as the clocks go on this. So I don't know if I got faster than that because the needle was pinned and it wasn't bouncing off the rev limiter. So I guess it could have done a bit more. And the thing is with that, I just did that just to see. I've never taken this bike out, so I was like, let's see what it can do. And the surprising thing is, at that speed, it felt fine. I didn't feel like I was getting ripped. I was in a tuck, but it didn't feel like I was going to get ripped off by the wind. But the bike felt stable. It wasn't wobbly. It didn't feel like it was going to blow up. It didn't feel unstable. It felt planted. It felt great. The best parts of this bike are not going up to that speed, but it was just curiosity, like, let's see what it can do. But really, the sweet spot is when you're around 80 miles an hour, 60 to 80, and you're throwing it in some bends and you get your position just right, you're leaning it in and then coming out, and it's so smooth and it yeah, I think it just flatters the rider. And so many bikes today do that with all the rider aids, all the electronics. And this is a modern classic, so I know it looks old, but it's got some of the little bits and pieces in there, ABS and whatnot. I think it's got a level of anti-wheelie control. I think I just keep it in sport mode, but I think you can turn it all the way off and there's no traction. But I will say this though, it's one that, yes, it does have some of them rider aids, but you don't expect it as much as you would on, say, your BMWs and your Aprilias or whatever else. But it flatters the rider. It's a very, very good bike. If you're in the market for one of these, if you've been, I mean, they're beautiful bikes. I think most people agree on that. So if you've just been looking at content, looking at images, and you're like, should I, shouldn't I? I mean, get yourself a test ride, and I think that will make the decision for you. But I will. I've had quite a few bikes in my life, and and I've got the Aprilia now, which is my favorite bike. I've always loved that bike. It's the second one I've ever had of these. But I have to say, the Thruxton RS is a great bike. There's nothing that I have to say that I would complain about. There's nothing that I would say, oh, if only it did this or that, or me thinking, oh, I'm gonna change this about it. I mean, most of the changes I did with for the aesthetic. I wanted it to look a certain way. I wanted to kind of black it out a little bit instead of having all these silvers because you have different silver tones going. But the way it looks now, and the way it sounds as well. It's got a decat on mine, so it does kind of burble and pop a little bit. But again, when I'm on the Aprilia, I've got the earplugs in with the thickest insert to because I mean it's got a crazy loud exhaust anyway, but it's just loud, it's different, it bangs, it's one of them. This one though, I didn't wear my earplugs at all. I mean my ears were ringing a little bit, but that's my music was a little bit too loud. That's not the bike's fault. But it's one of them you can just it sounds great, but the sound isn't there all the time. So you can, if you're just kind of riding along nicely, 60, 70, 80, it's fine. It's quite sedate, not too loud, not too intrusive. But when you start giving it some, the noise is there. It's got that V twin sound, so it's not high frequencies. It's a lower one, so it doesn't affect your hearing the same. It's great. It's. I've heard people refer to it as the gentleman's sports bike, and I absolutely agree with that. I think that's a great way of describing this bike. It gets a lot of attention as well. People stop and look at it, and want to talk to you about it. It's one of those bikes, and I'm really proud of it and I can't wait to get out on it again. I mean, this is the thing. I'll probably go riding this weekend coming up, and it's like, oh, do I go on the Aprilia because I've not been on any bikes for 4 months, but because the Triumph was new to me, it was the obvious choice. Like, yeah, take the new bike out. But then this weekend coming up, I'm like, I miss riding the Aprilia because I've not been out on that for a bit. But I'm like, I want to get out on that Thruxton again because it's. I mean, I love that bike. I absolutely love it, and I'm glad that I do because I didn't test ride it before. I bought it from a different state, so it took a little bit getting it over, and test ride wasn't suitable. It wasn't possible. And when I got it, I took it briefly out just to go to the DMV to get it registered, and the tire pressures were down. I didn't check because I got it from a dealer, so I thought that I wouldn't need to chain was slack and all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So it kind of rode like shit. And I kind of had buyer's remorse a little bit like, oh, did I remember these modern classics being better than they actually are? Will it ever measure up to my other bike? Did I make the wrong decision? No, not at all. Once I'd set it up and set the suspension up and done all the things, and like I said, changed the oil and all the other things so that I had confidence in it, knowing that it was great, it was well maintained and looked after. It's great. There's not a thing I'd change about that bike. I just want to go out on it again, but hey, work, it gets in the way, but it also is the thing that allows us to get these toys. So yeah, and I will say just a side note, I did when I got that bike with it being the modern classic, that classic design. I wanted to get a helmet that would match that look, so I got the Bell Bullet. Despite the bad reviews I saw online, I ignored them and thought, nah, it looks the part. I'll get one. It's I hate that helmet. I've ridden it with it once, and it just whistles. It screams when wind is going through it. You've got wind hitting you in the face. It's just not a very good helmet, and it's not a cheap helmet. So I actually used one of my other ones that I've got. It's an HJC, and it's like a skull design thing on it. It looks alright. I think it suits the look. It's matte black with the matte silver, which is like the bike. So I was like, oh, I forgot I had that helmet because I bought it a bit ago and never really use it. I could have saved some money and not bought the Bell because the Bell helmet's as good as new, and I'll never use it because it looks amazing. It's a pretty helmet and it really suits this bike, but I can't be doing with that. I've never tried it with earplugs. Maybe that would be the difference, but with going on the ride I went on with it, a whole day of riding, I didn't want to risk it thinking, well, earplugs might solve that situation, but then what if they didn't? So I just took another helmet that I knew I was happy with and just wired up the cardo and everything. So I had my music and whatnot. But yeah, just a short video, or maybe not. I think it's about 10 minutes long. But I did buy a chin mount for my helmet so I can put my action camera on there because no one wants to just see some guy talking about his bike in the garage like this. Is all I've got right now, but I'm going to clip my camera on and get some footage of me out on this Triumph, and then you can kind of see it for yourself what it's capable of, especially if we go to some of them twisties. I'll show you, like, you can I treated that bike the same way as I did my Aprilia. Just threw it into the bends and just expected that it be able to handle it, and it handled it and then some. It was like, is that all you've got? Let's go faster. I'm like, don't tempt me. You're too pretty to drop. But yeah, if you're in the market for one, get one. That's all I can say. Test ride one, and then don't take my word for it. The test ride will do all the convincing you need. But they are fantastic bikes. They look good. They sound good. They handle well. They're definitely quick enough. I was keeping up with my friend all weekend on Saturday. So he was on his MT10. Obviously, that bike's faster, but this wasn't exactly miles and miles behind. So great bike. If you're thinking of one, don't think, just do. Buy it. You'll love it.